It was clear to me a long time ago that I wouldn't make a very good doctor. Thank God for doctors, but I've passed out sometimes at the sight of blood. Well, in Mark chapter 5, we read about a woman who has a flow of blood. And not just, for a few days, a month, but she's got an ongoing flow of blood. And so it helps us to look at the kind of social separation and especially misunderstanding that she would have faced. In Jewish circles, a woman with a flow of blood once a month, she wasn't excluded from attending synagogue. She could still read publicly from scripture. She wasn't completely isolated by any means. But anyone or anything she touched would become ritually impure. That's already in Leviticus 15. And that was true also for men with different kinds of fluid emissions. Well, Leviticus forbids even sleeping with a woman during those 7 days. So what about a woman who has a continual flow of blood? The odds are very good that she was not married. If she had ever been married at this point, she's alone. Sleeping with a woman during that state was, according to Leviticus, warranted being cut off from Israel. Philo of Alexandria, a Jewish thinker in the first century, said that a man may not even touch a woman during this time. Now, don't think that this was a particular or only Jewish issue. Ancient Egyptian shrines excluded women with a flow of blood. Mesopotamian texts likewise considered menstruation's blood flow impure for sacred space, ritually potentially contaminating for those who needed to enter it. Persians also excluded women with a flow of blood from being near what they considered the sacred fire. Many male intellectuals actually viewed a woman's monthly flow of blood as dangerous. Some temples excluded them for 7 days after their flow of blood. Some physicians insisted that initial menstruation can lead to madness in unmarried young women, and supposedly a woman's monthly flow of blood killed plants and bees, dulled mirrors and instruments, and caused other kinds of harmful effects. Persian Zoroastrian tradition also treats the genital blood flow as impure and imposes death for intercourse with a woman during her flow of blood. Some rabbis felt that it could kill men. Now, on the more positive side, some suppose that if a woman with her monthly flow of blood circled a crop field naked, it would disable all the insects there. So what kind of treatments were prescribed back then? Well, some of the treatments, and you can see why in Mark 5:26, it says she endured much at the hands of many physicians. This is not a comment on physicians in general, but ancient physicians sometimes had interesting prescriptions for such conditions. One prescription is drinking goat urine and spreading goat dung, as well as exposing the uterus to smoke from burning goat hair. Later rabbis prescribed various remedies, such as wearing the ashes of an ostrich egg, sprinkling fine flour on the lower body, frightening her at a crossroads, or having her take barley corn from the dung of a white mule. But probably the most common case of treatment was that if a woman had a flow of blood, physicians would let blood from her. That is, they would drain some more blood from her, which, as you can imagine, was probably counterproductive. So this woman has endured a lot, but touching Jesus cured her at once.